So I just got back from covering Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. It is 4:48 a.m. where I'm at in New York. Here's the press pass as proof. What a fight. Not for the action-packed reasons you probably would expect from somebody saying what a fight, but what a fight in terms of the drama. Now, a couple different things. One, I, like many of you, dead wrong on this fight. Here's what I had to say in a preview with the New York Post Sports channel on Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach the day of the fight. I want to stress to casual boxing fans who are not too familiar with Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach is a good boxer, legitimately good boxer, but this is not somebody who I expect to beat Gervonta Tank Davis. I think Gervonta Tank Davis is going to win this fight. I think he's going to win it by stoppage. You know, Lamont Roach will have his moments. He'll look good early on. Gervonta Davis will be stalking him, and then he'll eventually find him. Like, that's typically what happens. And that was similar to what I said earlier this week on The Mandatory with Brian and Chantel, a boxing show that is on a different YouTube channel, which you should subscribe to. Here's what I had to say earlier this week about this fight. I took Tank to win by technical knockout between rounds 7 through 12. I think Lamont Roach is going to be competitive early on, and then Tank's pressure will get to him, and it'll be some of the same things that we've seen in other Tank fights where he'll give you the early portion of the fight, then he'll start to figure you out. He'll figure out some counters. He'll figure out counters to your counters. Like, he's very good at making adjustments on the fly. He has an underrated ring IQ, and he's able to box you in and make you fight the fight that he wants to fight. And now at the press conference, here's what I captured Lamont Roach saying about people who doubted him leading up to this fight.
Any of y'all had me getting knocked out to all this, I'm going to go back and look at y'all videos. I promise you. I promise you. I'm so glad the fake boxing media not here. Fuck two-tone. Fuck showbiz. I'm like, come on, all right. They don't know nothing about boxing. I appreciate you guys here. Thank you.
This is going to sound weird as somebody who provides analysis, predictions, bets. I enjoy being wrong sometimes. Not all the time. You don't want to be wrong all the time because then, what are you doing? But I enjoy being loud wrong sometimes because it gives you that reminder that you just can't expect certain things in sports. You can't know everything. You can't always be right. And you can't always assume things are going to go the way you think they're going to go just because you think they're going to go that way. Like, I did not go into this fight thinking that Lamont Roach was a bad fighter or anything like that, but I thought he was overmatched. And on paper, leading up to it, it appeared that way. In the ring, which is always going to tell the truth, in the ring, he won that fight. The fight was officially called a majority draw. You see it below, right here on the screen. 115-113 for Davis, 114-114 draw for two judges. Lamont Roach has a draw with Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis still has his O, but has a 1 next to that O. It's a scenario that almost nobody saw happening. Even people who thought Lamont Roach could probably didn't bet on him. Not many did. Like, no one saw this coming. And by the way, you shouldn't have. Gervonta Davis is an all-world talent. We chronicled this on a film study on this channel, a film study series. There's a part 1 and a part 2, both of them under 10 minutes. Lamont Roach should have won this fight, though. In round 9, this is very important. Gervonta Davis, you've probably seen it by now. He takes a knee out of nowhere. He blames it after the fight on grease going in his eye from his hair getting done 2 days prior. It fell into his eye. He took a knee. He got wiped off in the corner, like a towel from his corner. It wiped his eye, but there wasn't anything ruling a knockdown. And by the letter of the law, should have been a knockdown, even though he wasn't down to a punch. And by the letter of the law, probably should have got disqualified because he went to his corner and got toweled off in the middle of the round. Removing the disqualification aspect of it, if he just suffered the knockdown, mathematically he would have lost this fight because he won round 9. He had a great round 9 otherwise, probably feeling the pressure of that. And ultimately, he would have lost if there was simply a 10-8 round for Lamont Roach as opposed to a 10-9 round for Tank Davis. Lamont Roach did great in this fight. Didn't let Tank get into his offense. Wasn't biting on the traps. Like we outlined in the film study, Tank sets traps. He's not just somebody who's just going to stalk you and find you. He does that too. The power is immense. It's elite. But he sets traps. He tries to lure you into his left uppercut. He tries to lure you into an overhand. He tries to lure you into something that he can counter with. Straight left hand. He was winding up Lamont Roach, so to speak, all night long. And Lamont Roach wouldn't bite on many of these. He got tagged a few times. He got tagged sometimes in this fight. Tank landed some big shots. Lamont Roach took them. Credit to him. Did an outstanding job of keeping Tank sort of off of his game, off of his rhythm. Tank took too long to settle in. Felt like he never fully did outside of a couple of rounds. I thought that he won, obviously, a chunk of the rounds, but round 9 is really the big difference. I want to go back and score this fight without being in the arena for it, without hearing the crowd and all these different things. I want to sort of watch this in silence and score it, but I feel like I'm going to come away thinking that, hey, this is a draw if you don't give a 10-8 round to Lamont Roach. Like if Lamont Roach doesn't get round 9 as he probably should have by the letter of the law, this is a draw. Otherwise, Lamont Roach should have won that fight. I feel like that's what I'd come away with if I rescored this. And even if I have it 115, 113 Davis, if you have Lamont Roach getting that 10-8 round, that matters. It's a big swing. Tank did some things well. I didn't feel like he truly got going. He felt like he could have done more. He said as much in the press conference.
That was on me for sure, because I ain't pick it up when I supposed to pick it up. And I could have definitely did more.
Most notably, however, was that while Lamont Roach is a rematch that he wants, he hinted at something else coming next and wouldn't say what, but said we'll find out soon.
It probably won't be this year.
Is that the one you want next?
It's definitely the one I want next, but it's not gonna be next.
Well, what is?
We might see it in a minute. Definitely might see it in a minute.
Tank is basically kicking the can down the road in terms of the rumored retirement plans for 2025. Said he wants to fight 4 more times and said he also wants Lamont Roach to be part of that list. He wants to get that one back, so to speak, even though he technically didn't lose it. But it doesn't seem like that's going to be next. It seems like something else will. He said that another boxer went into his dresser. He wouldn't say who it was. He just said it wasn't Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson was there. Shakur Stevenson has been campaigning for this fight. I'm going to say this in every single video that I talk about Shakur Stevenson and or Gervonta Davis. These two need to fight each other. For me personally, this is the fight I want to see more than any other fight in boxing. Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson. That is the fight for me right now. Not just at 135, but in the sport. That's the fight. I think we should get Tank versus Lamont Roach too. Lamont Roach even said that he'd be willing to fight Shakur Stevenson next if he can't get Tank next. Lamont Roach is ready, and he proved himself here again. He was good. Like leading up to this fight, I would say it. He's really good. He's just not in Tank's class. And he proved that that's bullshit, because in this fight, he was in the ring. The ring tells. In the ring, he was on par with Gervonta Davis. Nobody's done that before. He looked better against Gervonta Davis than Isaac Cruz did, in my opinion. And a compelling argument could be made that Tank lost the fight. Thank you for supporting the channel, whether it's 1,000 views or 100 views or 50 views or 1 comment or 10 comments. Don't care, as long as y'all keep tuning in, checking in, supporting. Channel is growing. It's getting closer to where I want it to be. We're not quite there yet, but we're going in the right direction, and we'll have more on that very soon, as well as things going on in the world of basketball, boxing, and the world of sports. Take care. Take it easy. We'll talk soon. Thank you for watching.